Give me some directions to get to you. To get to you, ain't gonna waste my time. I know that we got connection. I think about you. You're on my mind. On my mind. On my mind. Yeah, I'm going out of my mind. Out of my mind. Out of my mind, yeah. For you, my love. You drive me crazy, tell me what to do, what to do. I'm on my knees, yeah, I am begging you, begging you. I'll break the rules if it will get me to, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to the 5Fs to Love, and you know what it is. It's Friday, so you know it's 60, it's a new 40, and you guys are probably thinking, is Gerald back? Of course he is.
Here I am.
Hey,
Live.
Gerald.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm awesome. I think there's a big change that happened between the last time you were here and us being back. What's the big change, Gerald?
Let me think about it. Might be a little something going on here.
Something going on? You're like married, Gerald, now.
I sure am. Happily married. Trust me.
Awesome. To that wonderful woman I always mention all the time, my co-producer in Delaware, that is Donna. So one of these days, you know, she's going to have to make her appearance. They probably think that she's like the invisible woman or something, right?
Well, she will now. She's an official of Robinson, so.
But her name is still Donna. Can I just call her by her first name? Do I need to call her by her whole name?
Well, you throw that Robinson there occasionally.
Okay, I'm gonna leave the Robinson out because her first name is more important to me. Because I already know the last name. I've been calling you Robinson.
I'm always gonna throw that Robinson in there. I'm always gonna.
And I see you're just gonna throw it in the mix.
Yeah.
Donna, I still recognize you as an individual. Okay, all right.
Well, that's the
I'm
change.
Individuality. All right, so you know what? Our conversation tonight, and folks, disclaimer, I'm wearing this because this is one of my mother's vintage pieces, and I felt like I just wanted to be hugged by my mom today. You guys are probably thinking, why isn't she not dressed today? Because I'm wearing my mother's vintage dashiki that I love.
It's awesome.
Okay, so listen, this is like a real conversation for a lot of people, right? Yes. So I'm starting off with a tough question for you.
Okay.
Very tough question. My first question to you is, do you think men or women set direction of the relationship? Does the man or the woman do that?
Truthfully, in my personal opinion, the man sets that. He sets that.
Why do you think he does? Why do you think he do that?
Well, again, I go back and I'm a traditional man, is that, you know, he's the leader. He's the leader in the relationship. Bottom line. Doesn't mean she doesn't have an opinion or things like that. It just means that the man, you know, should lead. You know,
well, not lead, like in a sense of what I'm saying is not the leadership part. Like, who decides that this is a relationship? Is it the man or the woman?
You both do. You both. You put it out there. I mean, you both had that conversation. Because the last thing you want to do is one person is at one level in the relationship and the other person's, you know, below their level. Meaning that, you know, if I said I love you, then I really like to hear I love you back.
Okay.
Or are we in a relationship with each other, exclusive relationship with each other? You know, those are the those are the words that actually need to be said, Chris, because I've lived in the past where that didn't happen. The next thing you know, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. I never said I was, you know, your boyfriend or whatever the case may be, you know, but you actually need to say, those are the words that you actually need to say. You know, at my age, we get that boyfriend, girlfriend stuff, but, you know, go ahead and say it. You know, you're
go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I asked that question because a lot of women feel that even if they want to be in a committed relationship with this man, that the man sets the tone.
I agree with that. I agree, because a lot of men play that game, and I don't mind, you know, saying that and sharing that. Men have played that little game where I didn't really say it, you know, that, you know, we're in a relationship like that. So they end up, you know, dating someone else, you know, in the midst of your relationship, like, wait a second, hold on. I thought we were exclusive. I thought we were together, but you actually never said it. So I think women, you need to pin him down and actually ask that question.
That's my thing. I don't have a problem with just like, dude, what's up? Are you in or out?
Right.
That's to me, that's like a real conversation, especially at 52, which I can't believe I'll be 52. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to say is, you know, people toe tap. You know, they put that toe in to test the water initially. You know, don't jump all the way in or even put a foot in. You know, you need to make sure that somebody puts a foot in and put the whole body in. If you're in, you're in.
But the
Most women
thing
are
is,
ready to commit though. They're ready for that commitment. And men,
mhm.
you need to really specifically say, I'm in a committed relationship. Excuse me.
But what about those guys during the dip in? They on the dip in. They've convinced this woman that it's not a dip in, that it's a legitimate both feet in. This woman's like, I'm planning the wedding, and he's like, oh, I wasn't. What do you mean? I wasn't really in. But on during the dip in, they go in so hard, Gerald, that you think that this person. So for like 6 months, he on one foot in, one foot out. You thinking it's legitimate. He at your house every day, y'all doing things together, he repairing, and next thing you know, he's ghost.
It's funny.
That's
It's funny you're saying that because that's in my book that I've written. My book coming out. It talks about that very thing. Is that you
mhm,
need to get that commitment from them. You need to hear that verbal commitment. It's more about verbal commitment because once you say it, you own
mhm.
it. So you need to get that verbal commitment. 6 months is way too long to not know that you're actually in a relationship, an exclusive relationship.
I'm
And
sorry, two weeks is too long.
yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Well, 2 weeks, you're still filling each other out and decide, what, do I really want to spend this kind of
Mhm.
time or commit this time into this person? And get at my age, it's like I don't have a lot of time to waste. So we need
That's
to
what I mean.
correct. So we need
In
to
a
have
minute,
respect
I'll be
for each
60. I don't have time to fool around. I know 2 weeks in whether this is not going to work or not. Like,
right.
I know enough about you to
Mhm.
know if I want to know more about you or
Correct.
whether I'm out.
Right.
So when people to me are in relationships longer than that, I don't know what's going on. So my next question is, what are the steps from a male's perspective of how to prepare for marriage? Like, and there's a difference between I want to date you long term and shack up versus I want to marry you.
It's one thing you just mentioned earlier about coming over
Mhm.
and spending time. It's about spending that time with you. Spending that time, getting to know you, the important things about you, even the little things. He should be doing those kind of things. So far as a male's perspective, he needs to start, being very attentive,
Mhm.
towards that woman. Pay attention to the small things. You know, check on them. Make sure that they're important in your life. Not secondary. I know we have our jobs and we want to pay our bills or whatever, but last thing a person wants to feel like is they're secondary.
Mhm.
Try to put them in the front line and just say, you know what, I called to check on you, see how you're doing, and be consistent with it. It's one thing to do it for a week or two. It's another thing to stay
Mhm.
with for another month, another year. That's just a pattern. A pattern
Mhm.
you created or whatever. Don and I created a pattern with ourselves.
Mhm.
We pretty much know where each other are. Getting off work at times. Things like that. If something's changed, because again, my job is to cover her. I can't cover if I don't know what's going on. Where she is and what's happening with her life. That's not checking up on or anything like that.
Right.
I remember back in the day, we talk about, oh man, you're checking on it, wrap around your finger, and all these little crazy terminologies used to fall into. Those things are perfectly fine if you're in a
Yeah.
committed relationship and you have enough respect for each other. Because the last thing I want to do is for her to feel like she's secondary. Men, the last thing you want your woman to feel like she's secondary. She needs to be primary to you.
So you feel like the steps that a guy would take would be one to make sure they make them a priority. And what does that look like? Does that mean picking up the phone and calling them? Is texting them? Is it doing the small things? Is it leaving a sticky note? Is it all of those things plus some other stuff? Like what is it?
You just said it. You just named them all, but it's not calling you every 5 seconds or whatever. We have to work and do things,
Mhm.
throughout the day. You want to pick up the phone or just send a little message that I was thinking about you. Because if you were, send a message that I was thinking about you. Just hope your day's going well. Pay attention to, when you start paying attention, one thing like, Donna, she's feeling a certain way or whatever. I've noticed that because I'm attentive to it. I'm like, honey, something's going on or what's happening. That's making her feel like she's important, which she
Right.
is. So you should be doing that, and vice versa. She should be doing that same thing. You find women do that more, than men because they have that nurturing,
Yeah.
nurturing in them. But men need to step up and do those things too as well. Is you need to pay attention and be very attentive towards her.
And that's one of the things I wanted to ask you because I think men are more active action kind of responsive versus women they innately are nurturers.
Hmm.
So to us, our thing is that we're cooking for you, you and your clothes are clean, we're thoughtful, all of those things are telling you that we're attentive to you. But Joe, what I've seen though, real talk, is that a man's actions really tells you what his intent is. So if a dude is like not even calling you and texting you, you're not important to him.
Chris, you nailed it. I mean, you nailed it right there. You're absolutely correct. You know when a man's interested in you. You know when he's interested in either taking it to another level or he just, simply wants to date you exclusively. You'll know. It won't be any mistake about it, just based off his behavior. And
Right.
don't accept just, anything just to say you have a man. He should be doing those things because
Oh my
unfortunately
gosh,
that
girl.
comes into play too, as well as that
Mhm.
loneliness, and all of a sudden you start lowering your standards and allowing someone to call you once a week. They're calling you once a week, but like, wait a second, I thought we were in a like, exclusive relationship. Again, you didn't have that conversation to find out if you're in an exclusive relationship or are we in a relationship. I Go
That
ahead.
is so true. I think when you think about it, one of the things that I constantly tell people is that I like to have conversations. So if you're not a person that doesn't like to talk, then we're going to have a problem because to me, my dad used to say it's one thing to show someone, but it's one thing to tell someone and show someone.
Hmm.
So my thing is if you're not a man who can communicate effectively to me, which means you're not calling me to say, "Hey babe, I know you're busy. You probably got 5 minutes, but I wanted to check on you. How's your day?" If you're not doing that for me, oh, then you can stop. I don't do this text. I'm old school. Why are you texting me? How am I doing?
Right.
Are
If
you
you're
playing me?
right, if
That's
you're
all you're doing is texting.
right, if you're available to talk, then you should pick up the phone and talk. You don't
Pick up
send
the
them happy
phone.
birthday. You don't send happy birthday through a text. You need to make things personal. You know,
Very personal. But I think, Joe, with the way technology is, they have replaced entire conversations with a text message.
It's funny you saying that, Chris, because you're absolutely correct. Because I noticed that, and we're talking about that recently with a friend of mine saying, "What is it with the text thing?" And sometimes text can be taken out of context. I mean,
Yeah.
totally wrong. So pick
It's
up the
all up
phone.
to your interpretation of it.
All interpretation, absolutely correct. It's all interpretation. So again, pick up the phone. Let me hear your voice. Your voice soothes me.
Hmm.
Donna calls me, her voice soothes me. And he's just saying, you know what, I'm having a bad day. Just hearing and knowing that she has my back. That's what
Hmm.
you want to do. That's where you want to get the relationship to be. You want it to get to that point where
Right.
we can call each other and we can just you know what,
Hmm.
the world doesn't matter. We matter
It
right.
doesn't matter.
Right, exactly. Because the world's going to happen and things are going to continue to happen outside in the
It's going
world.
to happen.
But we need to create our own little bubble that we stay in, which is so important. Nobody can bust our bubble and stay in that area.
I
So
think that was a song too back in the day. You can't bust my bubble. We're gonna find out. So,
yeah.
folks, you know me. I'll take a minute while we're on this quick commercial break. But folks, we'll be right back. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you have a man that's texting you constantly and not calling you, rethink that because he's not the one. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. My name is Christine Burkett, the inventor of the 5 F's to Love. This is a compatibility app. It's an app that gives you an opportunity to rate words that start with the letter F in chronological order of importance to you, to help you find your one true love, your soulmate, and the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So after you've taken the time to rate your F's in chronological order, you send a link to the person, I don't know, you just met, or the person you've been dating for quite some time. Or maybe it's the person you've been married to for 30 to 40 to 50 years. And then you compare your top 5 F's to find out what things you have in common and things that you may perhaps need to work on. This is taking a simplistic perspective on how to find your one true love, your soulmate, the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And thank you for downloading the 5F's app. Hey guys, welcome back to the 5F's to Love. And you know it's 60s New 40 and it's Friday. So you know that's Gerald. Gerald, we've been on hiatus for a minute. So I just want to know, what have you been doing on this honeymoon? Did you take a honeymoon? Because you look like you are just walking on clouds right now.
we did not. We're planning on one. So I just started a new position as far as job, and so we're gonna hold off on it. Probably about 6 months, and we're gonna head out. We're still trying to decide on where we want to go. When we want to go down
I
to the islands.
love
And
it.
we spent some time with each other, which is awesome.
I just want to say you guys live in a palace by yourself. So I think it's okay.
Yeah,
I
but you
think,
would think you would think we don't. We stay in the same room all the time together.
are
So
you serious?
yeah, we spend a lot of time around each other.
Oh my God, as big as that house as you guys live in a palace, you could have taken your own indoor like honeymoon in the house, out of the house, with on the gazebo, drinking coffee on the patio in the morning. Like you guys could have had a whole moment.
Now that we do, we do our
Right.
mornings out on the patio and stuff like that, and the evenings on the patio. I throw the fireplace on. It's still chilly enough at nights, I throw the fireplace on that. But I didn't have to wait for a honeymoon to do all that.
I'm just saying
One
that's
already
like
knows
a
that's me.
staycay. That's
Yeah,
a staycay honeymoon.
yeah. She already knows. Yeah, she already knows that's me. That's we do those things. I enjoy that. I enjoy that
Okay.
time.
And folks, if you're watching, especially if you're men, it's the little things. Women like that stuff, dude. I mean, honestly, if you just sit next to me on a bench and you know that I'm sitting there and I like, by the way, I love a caramel latte. If you bring me a nice caramel latte from our Keurig, that to me is love. You don't even have to say I love you. That's love right there.
What you just said right there is a hint, Chris. You know what I mean? So if you're dating someone and they mention that, then guess what? That should be something that they should pop up with you for. They should pop up and
They should pop
surprise you
up
with
with
those type
that.
of things. Those are the little hints, or listen to those little cue, little keywords. Excuse me, little keywords, little key things out there to. That someone says, what, I like lattes, or I like
Mhm.
whatever. I like Reese cups every now and then, or I like a
Right.
backdrop, or I like whatever occasionally. Throw those out there. Doesn't mean you have to do it every day or whatever, but
No.
just slide it in there. Slide it.
Slide it in there.
Yeah,
I believe in that kind of stuff. And now that Amazon is so quick, whenever he says anything, he ends up getting a delivery like same day or next day. And he always goes, babe, I go, dude, just because we're not in the same state, what does that mean? He was just like, thank you. I love this.
right.
Well, you mentioned it. I can't be there, but I know you need this.
Yeah,
So I get it to him. But that's the whole thing. Like sometimes I have lunch delivered, to him. And he's always sitting back like, how did you know I wanted this? Because I know you.
sure.
Like, but the thing is so funny. He doesn't think, well, I'm never in the same place long enough for him to do stuff like that. And plus, I don't eat during the day because I'm so busy. But he knows my favorite thing is flowers, so he just sends flowers, which I love. So I was like, you have to understand, folks. Even if you're not in the same place, you need to be thinking of that person. And that's like a vibrational thing too. Because I'm sure even when you're not around Donna, you can feel her thoughts. And then sometimes you call her and she'll be like, I was just thinking about you.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, simply all the time we do. We keep looking at each other like, "Are you serious right now?" So now at this point, now we just accept it. Just accept
Right.
that we're connected like that. So plus, I'm recovering. I mean, the wedding was huge. I mean, it was fantastic. So just basically, we need to recover from that. It was a lot.
I'm gonna tell you, I looked at those pictures and you guys were absolutely beautiful. I was like, why didn't they put this on a card? And
Thank
did
you.
they print this? Is this a picture in the house? I mean, every photo you sent me was absolutely gorgeous. Donna looked like a princess.
Oh, she
I
stopped me.
was just like, oh my gosh.
And when she broke the corner, I was just like, "Are you kidding me right now?" Like,
Did you
wow.
start crying? Did you start
Uh,
crying?
anyway, I can't tell all that, but anyway,
I need to know. Did you start crying, girl?
I was emotional. All right, how about that?
I, that's
I was,
that's to be expected. She's an absolutely gorgeous person inside and out. And honestly, when I looked at the pictures, I was just like, oh my gosh, she's incredibly beautiful. Gerald does not deserve this woman, not one bit. Look at her in this moment. And I said, the one thing I said was, Gerald, I think she showed you up. I meant to text you that.
what shows me up?
She showed you up in that wedding, honey. Donna was like Princess Diana.
Okay,
I just
and
want to keep it real.
I was King
Donna,
George.
look, Donna, I got your back. Okay, so Gerald, what are the signs? People when you start dating, and a lot of men were like, well, I didn't know she wanted to get married. As a man, when a woman wants to get married because she's doing certain things, right? Or when she just wants to have fun. So as a man, what are those signs and what do they look like?
Um, Before I answer that, I will just be careful of pressuring him about getting married. Just be that wife. Just be that wife that that a man's always been waiting for. He may not be it. Just be yourself and be that wife.
Hmm.
I call Donna my wifey all the time. She was wifey, from the beginning before when we started dating. So again, just
But
start.
Gerald, let's take a step back. You were always a husband. See,
And
that's the
I was
difference.
going to go. I was going to go there to that as well. Is that
Right,
you also need to carry yourself as a husband.
right.
Carry yourself as a husband. You're not dating everybody here and there and all over the
Mhm.
place. Whatever. You're settling yourself down. You're establishing a household. You're establishing a house so she can come into your life and make it a home. So
Right.
there's a lot of things that you're doing as a man that you should already be establishing. All she just comes in and just fills the gaps. The woman to me just comes in and fills those gaps. And Donna came in,
She
she
feels the
came in and
gap.
filled,
I
and filled
like that.
Yep, she truly came in and filled the gaps. But and she feels secure because of that. Because again, she can already see that I'm out there taking care of business,
Mhm.
managing my life, managing a household, managing a job. So for her to so-called submit or fall coming into this, she doesn't feel scared. It may be different for her. She's not scared. She doesn't feel like what Gerald's already handling this. She's already taking care of these things. So, far as men is concerned, men should already be preparing themselves. Be a husband, prepare yourself. You'll find that wife. She'll fall right into your lap, and because you're actually carrying yourself that way. Because women, guys, I don't know why guys don't realize it. Women know when you're a player. They know when you're out there doing playing things. They totally know that. Now,
Don't we?
now, whether they accept it or not, that's a whole nother story. That's another subject matter. But they know when
Right.
you're playing. You get to my age or whatever, the play game. You're sending texts all the time, like, hello, or you're only calling me at 7 o'clock. Okay, why can't you
Right.
call me? You're calling me from work, or you're calling me from, somewhere else. You're never calling me from home or something like, okay,
Right.
why is that? So all those are just red flags all over the place. And we know them. We've
I
seen them
love her.
before. So pay attention to those things and vice versa. I don't want
Mhm.
to act like, that women don't do the same things at the same time. If she's not ready to settle down or whatever, she's only calling you at a certain time. Oh, I got a business meeting this. I
Right.
got that going on. So again, just be very mindful of those things. And at this point in your life, settle down. Stop with the game thing. Settle yourself down.
Because life is better with somebody else. Matt from Real Talk with the Men, he said, how do you move from vibration to what? What's that word? What's
Monogram.
that word? Huh?
Monogram.
No, monogamy.
What? I can't see it. Where is it?
I know you don't have your glasses on. You're trying to be hot and sexy. Joe, get over it. You're with Donna. You're okay now. Put those glasses on. So the thing is,
Well, it's funny.
Matt,
Oh, there
you're
you go.
right, because
There
the
you go.
thing is, how do you move from it being vibrational to, I'm going to commit to this person? And the thing is, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people are in love with the idea of being in love. So that heightened vibration that you have, that intense feeling that, oh, I want to be with them, is there. But like after 60, 90 days, it wears out and the person's out and they go to the next high vibrational because it's like a high for them.
Mm,
So
that's
what does that
important.
look like? And Matt, you have a point, because Matt says, what about lots of people have vibrations? And they do. Lots of people do.
Well, define vibrations. What's vibrations? Let's do.
Vibrations is when you feel like you have that mental connection with somebody,
Okay.
right? When you're constantly thinking of them. And what I'm going to say to people is this, is that even if you're in a point, and by the way, I'm not an expert, I just pretend to be one on
Huh?
the podcast. I do that disclaimer. People actually call me for relationship advice, but I tell them, looking at psychology, and that's different than doing marriage counseling, but it is what it is. But this is the thing, folks. When you are intimate with someone, there's an emotional and vibrational connection that you have to that person.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that's equivalent to that is when a mother births a child, right? Because that comes out of you. But when someone enters inside of you, women, you will be vibrationally connected to that person. But the bigger picture is that vibrational connection about, oh, he makes me feel good sexually, or I'm in love with this guy. Those are two different things.
Sure, two different things. Totally two
They're two
different things.
different things.
Yeah, people fall for that one way too much.
Way
They
too
fall,
much.
they fall for the sexual relationship, thinking that's an actual relationship because we vibe that way. There's way more to a relationship than just that. As you get
Because the
older, you
sex was
realize
hot, Gerald. Just cut it short. People get excited because the sex was great, and now all of a sudden I love him.
that to be
Really?
correct. You know what I mean? And it's way beyond all that.
It's way beyond all
What
that.
so what happens? You get older and that goes away. What happens if that starts? Again, just 60 to new 40. People's bodies change, things happen. Women's bodies change, things happen with them. So what happens that
Mhm.
goes away from the relationship? It needs to be more than just that. So
It needs to be.
for vibration, for our concern, is just you just get that feeling. To me, the vibration should never go away at all. And I mean, that's why I was
Never.
asking you to define vibration, because how do you shift from that? You don't shift from it. You stay in the vibration should always be there. And I
It
don't,
should be there.
yeah,
I
I don't
don't
think
know.
if it's real, it should always be there. You know, again, I talked about that bubble and keeping that circle and paying attention to each other and being mindful
I
of each other.
like that.
That's part of that. That's part of that vibration. You know,
Yep,
that's part of the vibration. You keep that going. So,
you do.
just to kind of answer that, Matt, is just to me is that the vibration should never disappear in your relationship. It should always be there. Married 50 years from now, it should still be there. I mean, I love seeing older couples and they look at each other just as though it's the first day they've ever met. Because
Right.
kept that vibration there. Because
Hmm.
again, their bodies have changed. Things have changed.
Yes,
Their physical life is not still the same or whatever. You got to have some type of
but they
vibration.
still love one another.
Yeah, sure.
It's like that endless love. And I'm going to tell you right now, your sister already knew what I was going to ask. She was like, Christine, glad you're back on air. It was beautiful affair, Christine. Sorry, no pics of the groom dancing badly. You already knew that was. I was getting ready to say that on the next segment. Where is the sister pictures that she promised me?
Because I didn't dance bad. That's why.
You did. I know you did. I know you did. And you know what? I'm waiting for them. Honey, text them to me. I'm not going to share them. I won't even post them. But I know for sure with some dancing badly there.
You know how you can get away with that? You do slow dancing, and then Donna just kind of carry me on.
Basically, you were stepping on her toes and she was doing all the rolling
Exactly,
around. I
exactly.
believe it. I 100% believe that. So, Gerald, you know what? When we talk about norms, where do the norms or expectations around being a provider or 50-50 being a 50-50 financial partner in a marriage? We talked about this before. Some people get married and it's like everything is together. We're good. And some people get married, it's like, I got my stuff, you got your stuff, and then there's the joint account we pay bills out of. So what's your thought about how that looks? And
My
whether, especially when a man wants to be a provider?
Yeah, and my personal thoughts is you need to put things together. You came together as a marriage or whatever, you need to put things together. If you're busy worrying about, this is mine, that's yours, and we're 50-50, then you know what? You don't need to be with that person. You don't have enough trust or belief in that person to say, you know what, my finances are going to be perfectly fine, putting these things together. I mean, so again, and there's no problem with having your own separate relationship. I mean, excuse me, your separate account. I see that and do that. Right? There's no problem having a separate account. If all of a sudden you want to buy, something, kind of out of the way or whatever, you don't have to use the family budget. There should be a family budget. There should
Okay.
be your life insurance policies. It should be your beneficiaries, your 401ks, like all those things. They need to be your beneficiaries on that. Your spouse should be those. You shouldn't be saying, "Oh, I'll leave that to my mom or my brother or my sister." Or like, are you kidding me right now? Why would my brother or my sister be my beneficiary, not my wife?
And that's a whole nother conversation that you have to do a show on. Like once you get married, there's stuff that goes to your kids and there's stuff that goes to your spouse and maybe stuff that goes to your siblings or your parents. But that's like a bigger conversation. But you were right on point. I think when you go into a relationship like that, you have to make a decision on what type of, because money is one of the major things that people get a divorce over. It's always money or sex,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
And the thing is, for me, we have to worry about that sex part. As long as you good, I'm good. I can go at the same pace you going, or I can drop down if I need to drop down and make you happy.
Mhm.
But this is the thing about this money. I'm gonna go to work and make this money. Either I'm keeping my whole financial team and you could be a part of that plan, or you got to go ahead and roll with it and you manage it. But my thing is you got to match with because my financial team is my virtual husband right now. And it's a team. It's not one person. It's a team of people, and they keep me right. So my thing is, if you can't do what they do, and you're not good at finances, then we both need to sit down with the financial team
So what
and
if he,
let them manage our money.
so what if he has a team, a financial team? You meet someone that already has a financial team themselves.
Oh, well, then I can roll with your team if your team is making you money. I'm good. I just want to be clear. I'm not going to do. And I hate to throw out there. I'm not going to do Wendy Williams. I'm not going to do Sherry Shepherd, and I'm not going to do Kelly.
Hmm.
They all their money was lost to their men. I'm not doing that.
Right.
We're gonna be clear. I bust my katukas. So if I got to this point and I'm rocking it out and you can't manage it, then just be honest about it. And the thing is, I totally believe in the 50-50, and I believe in 100% of what you were saying. All our money comes together. So either we gonna do it your way, with your people, with my people, or you gonna be the people, but we gonna do it together.
But as I mentioned earlier, Chris, you should already see that about the man. You should
Mhm,
already see he's taking care of his finance and everything. You mentioned and asked me a question earlier.
mhm.
Again, it's about taking care of yourself. My job as
Right.
a husband was to start putting the household together already. So before Donna meets me, the household are already in order. My finance are order. My credit scores are already in the eights. I need to make sure those things are already happening prior. So again, if she has X amount of dollars or whatever, she doesn't mind bringing that over and joining that in together. That should just happen naturally. Again, finances would be a major issue if you don't have that conversation prior. She knew how much money I made, my salary before we even got married. She knew all those things. So it wasn't a secret. It was amazing. I've heard people talk about, like, I don't even know what my husband or wife made. Like, are you
How
kidding
about
me?
how about this? How about somebody died and they were like, I didn't know they had all these insurance
I didn't
policies.
know
I
how to
was
insurance
like,
policy. Like, how did you not know this?
how do you not know this?
Right, right. Conversate. Open your mouth. Have a
Mhm.
conversation. Go through these things. Wills and all that. Go through the wills. Want grandkids to have this. I want so and so to have
You know
this. I
what,
want
Joe? You need
my
to
son to
do
have
a checklist of the things that people should do. Put that in your book.
that. Okay.
It should be a checklist. And I think that's important. I mean, for me, right now, if you marry me right now, we're going to do real conversation. I still got a student loan I got to pay off. So if we don't have to have the wedding, just write the check for that student loan and you got me. We good. Write that check. Okay, folks? So look, we got to go to this quick
That's
commercial break.
funny.
We'll be right back after this quick commercial.
Do you want it though? Where do I begin? I see the hate, they don't wanna see me win. Bank deposits, I got more coming in. Top down, throw the money in the wind. I don't want it all. Heard the scammer had to switch up the accounts. Moving paper, gotta call up my account. It's all in, I can have it coming out. Been through the struggle, I can see another drought. Yeah, it's not a purse, it's a merge. 6 figures was a goal, now it's 9 or a hearse. Put it work. Used to pull up, not swerve. No time for the snakes, time to put them in the dirt. That's word. I gotta get it, it's in my DNA. You only see the highlights, don't know what it takes. Last year stressing, got no sleep. Now I'm right between the courts, out of nosebleed. I see the hate, they don't wanna see me win. Bank deposits, I got more coming in. Top down, throw the money in the wind. I don't want it all. Heard the scammer had to switch up the accounts. Moving paper, gotta call up my account. It's all in, I can have it coming out. And through the struggle, I can see another drought. Yeah, same circles to the same gang.
Okay, guys, welcome back to 60 is the New 40. You know that guy. I should say, you know that guy. That guy, that guy. It is Gerald. Why? Because he is 60 to 40. And y'all, he got married, y'all, to Miss Donna, my associate producer in Delaware. I just want to say a shout out to Donna. She was absolutely beautiful.
She
You
was.
know what?
She was.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
was like, that dress was breathtaking. Her hair, it was just like a whole, and all I said was, Gerald, mm.
She can have it. That's okay. I just showed up. She was
That's
there.
right.
I
I
just
was
showed up.
waiting for you to say, well, Christine, it was her day
Yeah,
anyways.
it was
I
her day.
just
It
showed
was
up.
definitely her day.
Exactly.
Definitely her
And
day.
she really, I just thought she was just exceptional.
She
And thank you so much for sending those pictures. So listen, guys, this is where I put Gerald on the speed round. In the speed round segment, I'm going to ask him questions and he's going to have to answer them directly. When the buzzer goes off, that means it's time up. This is called the speed round. Okay, Gerald, and you must be honest. Donna, do not hold anything against him that he says right now does not pertain to you. And that's my disclaimer because you all just got married. I'm asking for his honest opinion about these 3 questions. Speed round. Let's go. Is it true that men don't like talkative women?
True.
Why is it true?
Um, because then he feels like she's taking control and control of the relationship and control of that person, period. Because she talks so much. She's overpowering him. So that's why they don't like talking to women.
Question number 2. Is it true that men want arm candy?
Oh, there's some that like that. There's some men that like arm candy. That's all they're looking for. They don't want to take it any further. They just want somebody that looks good, that's hanging on their arm. So yeah, that is true for some men.
Will they take the dumber down to get the arm candy look?
Oh my God, yeah. She don't even have to talk. She just shows the event, and that's it.
Just shows up. Okay, next question is speed round. Is it true that weight matters?
I'll say for me personally, no. But for some men, it is. I mean, you hear some men say they wanted, I wanted to be a 36, 24, 36. Well, you know what? That's not happening. First of all, for a black woman, that's not happening. Second of all, it's as you get older, you're going to put on a couple extra pounds. I want to know what's in their soul, what's in their heart. That's what matters.
Oh my God, you did well on the speed round. Okay, so question. We often hear women in their 50s, such as myself, and men who are in their 50s or older, they're going for these younger women, right? And the thing is 2 things that I guess the question is a 2-parter. The first question is that when you want to be with someone who understands a song or a moment or whatever, why is it?
Yes. I know exactly where you're going with this, right?
So so answer the question. So that's why is it you go for the younger when that person who is your age is sitting over here?
They wouldn't even know who Earth, Wind, and Fire was, the Commodores, or anything like that. So
nothing.
It doesn't make any sense. Most time what happens, in my experience, talking to men, it's because you don't want to feel old. Because you're getting older, so you think that younger person is going to keep you down at that age level. So you really want to kind of still feel like you have it. So you actually settle and start dating someone that's younger, just because you feel like you still want to feel like the man, if that makes sense. It's an ego thing. So you have to suck that ego up, and find somebody that's your age group and somebody that's just compatible with you, because basically the younger person they're really not compatible. They're not compatible. It goes back to the arm candy thing too as well. Then you're looking for that arm candy, so what she has a little bit of weight on her or whatever, she's still gorgeous, so what that person that, whatever, maybe losing hair, myself, going bald, so what, what about my heart? What type of heart I am? What type of spirit do I have? Do I have any compassion for you? Like, all those things matter.
And I like what you said. I think that women right now, and I have to go back and check it again, so don't hold me to this, people, when you watch it. But over 60% of African American professional women are not married, right? Yes. And that's a big problem, because a lot of them do want to be married. But the thing is, Jordan, a lot of African American women only want African American men. And so the Black women are feeling that the men are marrying other women from other races instead of choosing them. What do you say to those Black women? Because I'm not one of them. I will step out of this race in a minute. But other Black women, they won't. Now, mind you, y'all know what I like, but I will step out. Okay, let me see it. Enrico, I mean, babe, I'm not saying I'm doing that right now.
You know what I noticed, and it's funny that you say that. I just feel like, and I'm sorry, Black, I feel like you hold the Black man to a higher standard for some reason. Wow. For some reason, you hold us to a higher standard. So if he's not making, 6 figures and all this, X amount of dollars, and, doesn't have a boat here and doesn't go to Caribbeans every week, you hold us to that standard all the time. And I don't know why. So if you I'm not saying lower your standards, just that's high. That's asking a lot. Or if you're asking for a guy to be 6'2" or 6'3", where the average height guy is 5'8". So guess what?
Okay, Gerald, I don't like little people. So
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, you're kind of limiting yourself, So again, you got to look at the average height. So if you're looking at height and height matters to you, then you kind of limit yourself there. So again, so you start spreading yourself out, and you start going to, the other races or things like that, which is fine. But at the same time, if you're asking me about far as Black men are concerned,
right?
Stop putting those standards so high for him. He may be the manager at McDonald's or somewhere like that, or he doesn't mean he's not a decent guy. It doesn't mean he's he could be doing a factory job or a truck driver or anything else. He's bringing home the bacon. He still can be a nice guy and compassionate guy. Just because again he's a doctor and a lawyer or whatever doesn't mean he's going to be a good husband to you at all.
That is so true. One of my really good friends, and I will never shout out her name, but she's a famous designer,
Mhm.
clothing designer, really good friend of mine. And she called me on the phone and she said, Christine, what would you say if I was dating a janitor? Just out of the blue. And I said, I wouldn't say anything. She said, you know what? Thank you. I said, why? She said, because I am. She said, he's extremely intelligent. He loves me. He's very supportive of me. He's always there for me. She said, we have a great time together.
Mhm.
Intimacy is amazing. And the thing is, she used to be married to an NFL player,
Right.
but now she's dating this janitor who works in a school.
Mhm.
And this guy's amazing to her. And I've never seen her happier. So, what I'm going to say to you is if I happen to brush up on a guy, because I'm an intellect, if you don't stimulate me intellectually, then I'm out. I can overlook, but I can't overlook height. I don't like little people. We're going to be clear. I cannot overlook the height, okay? But
Okay.
I can overlook some physical requirements that I have, but
Mhm.
the height I can't. But the thing is, intellect will always be out. And so those are the things I think when you get older, you need to put together that list,
Yes.
mental list, a physical list, like what you need to look at. And so for me, I think the laws of attraction has always worked out for me that I've always met people and dated people who were one, much taller than me, at 6 foot or taller. Thank God. All of them are physically fit, health awareness, very intelligent, savvy guys. I mean, hustlers. Not, I mean, they always had a job, but they always had a hustle. You know what I'm saying? And it's never been an issue. And they love me like crazy, and they all cook because I can't cook. So it works out for me. But ladies, the thing is, everybody's not a Christine, right? And
Right.
it just happens to work out that way. So the thing is, Joe, did you have a list? Like, did you start making a list over the years about the things that were important to you as it relates to women and what you wanted?
I think subconsciously I did do that, but then at the same time I realized that wait a minute, this list is not realistic. I need to adjust this list, and in doing that, Donna showed right up perfect time. It was perfect. She's actually perfect for me. So as far as a list is concerned,
Mhm.
this, whatever the case may be, and you put on your list and not realistic,
Yeah.
find somebody with a heart, somebody that cares and means something to you, that has compassion for you, and
Mhm.
that's about you. So far as a list is concerned, yeah, I may have, and but I don't
I
really
know what was
as
at the top of your list.
far as a list.
Virtuous woman.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely correct. I mean, that was first and foremost, and that's
Homemaker.
covered all.
Look, I,
Yeah,
I know Joe list because he said it so many times over the years.
that's
Like
right.
I know his list. I'm like, Donna Donna is actually right. She ranks above your list. She has things that weren't even on your list. Honestly. And that's what makes her amazing. She's like an amazing fit for you. And I said that too. When I met her virtually, when you told me about her, I said, oh my God, Donna's perfect for you.
Yeah,
And the
absolutely.
first thing, what the first thing you said to me about Donna, and I knew you were that you totally that she was the one. You said, Christine, I found my virtuous woman. I was just like this.
Exactly.
I was like this. I was like, what?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
you was like, yeah. And I said, you got to be kidding me. You start talking about Donna, like right now, how your face, you just light up like a light bulb. Like you go from this thing to like I'm good. Like you're at peace.
See that
You
picture?
know what? Yes.
See that look? That they
Yes.
called me. I didn't pose for that picture. They caught me looking at her that way.
I know because you radiate. And that's one of the things that I want women to understand is that when you have that guy who feels that way about you, it's those soft glances. And I remember my dad used to look at my mom all the time and he used to call her my Stella. And I
Mhm.
used to say, well, Dad, are you sharing her? Like you always call her my Stella. He said, she is. That's my Stella. And so to him, that was his way of saying to my mom all the time, even in public, I love you,
Right.
without him even saying it.
Sure.
And my mother found it so endearing.
Right. And
So,
having those little tag names and those tag things that you do,
mhm,
that, individualize your relationship and little things you say to each other, extremely important. I think they
it
really
is.
are. I mean, there's little things that I say to Donna all the time, and little things she says to me that I picked up on, like, whoa, I like that. And if she doesn't say it, I'm like, wait a second, what's going on here? I want to hear that, babe. I want to hear that. So have those little tag things with each other. Just be best friends.
Be
Enjoy
best
enjoy
friends.
life. Enjoy life.
Joe, do you think men, admittedly or not admittedly, are more needy in relationships than women?
You know what? Now that you mention that, I think we are. I think men do they're a little bit more
Mhm.
needier than women are. Yeah. I think we want, like I said again, we want that attention. We want to feel like I'm the one. I'm the one and only. There isn't anyone else could, step in my place. So we're needy far as that is concerned. We need to feel like that we're number one in your life, that we matter in your life. I think women forget that sometimes. They're always looking for, for us to do that for them, but at the same time, we need to feel that too as well. I think that's extremely important.
I like that you said that because honestly, as a woman, I think men are extremely
Yeah.
needy.
Yeah.
I do. Sometimes it's very draining, but I do feel that they are. And the other thing is too, when I think about relationships, one of the things that deeply, deeply, deeply concerns me is that sometimes I think it can be kind of lopsided. And maybe you can talk to this. How you have one person who's constantly just going out of their way to make the other person feel amazing, great, and all of that. But then that person, excuse my mouth, half asses them.
Hmm.
Like blatantly.
Well, you know what you mentioned about going out of just be yourself. You don't really need
Mhm,
to go out of your way. Just be who you are. Because going out of your way, that'll fall away. That'll fall out by the wayside.
mhm,
Just be yourself. If that's who you are, if you pick up the phone and you call and you do those things, just be natural. That things just be natural. You'll see, and you should see it early in a relationship. Like, wait a
mhm.
second, this person's not calling me that much. This person, I'm not getting these things back. So again, pay attention to that. But again, don't try to do all these extra special things because that's what you think they want. Just simply be yourself because that won't last. Because then all of a sudden you'll start paying attention, like, wait a second, you don't do that any longer. You don't call me like you used to. You know,
Did you
well,
say you don't call me like you used to?
yeah, that's not who you were. You weren't like that. You're only doing that just to get into the relationship or get into wherever point you want to get to in that.
Right.
But you weren't looking for longevity. You weren't looking for all that. At some point, a person's going to feel that, whether it be male or female. You're
Mhm.
going to feel somebody wants to be with you long term.
Well, folks, I'm going to tell you we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we get back, we're going to ask the question that whether or not intimacy can actually take and derail a relationship. When one person can't live up to the commitment of the sexual needs of their partner and you're thinking about marriage, can that actually derail a relationship? We're going to find out when we get back because, folks, things like that happen when you're in your 50s and 60s. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
My business. 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 My business.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Loving how you wind up for me. Tonight is all on me. Mash up the place for me. Yeah, yeah. She just wanna highlight. Ooh, that body talk to me. I need a taste, baby. Loving the way you move around me. No more delay. No, you can't wait to shut it down. Won't you show me how you work it? I can't find no flaws, you perfect. Cause every time that you come around my way, I keep falling again. I keep falling again. And every time that you come out.
Okay, once again, guys, you catch me dancing. You know what? Because I like all the commercials I made.
Yeah, that's right.
What?
That was good.
I love all them commercials. I'll be back there like, hey. So, folks, welcome back. You know it's Friday because 60's a new 40, and Gerald Robinson is here. So, Gerald, listen, at our age, this is the thing that I always say to women. Stop talking to this man like he's 30 years old. I'm not expecting you to be throwing me, tossing me a whole hour. I got a good 30 minutes in me. If we get past them 30 minutes, we are looking pretty. Okay. But I'm tired at the end of the day. If we can get in a good 30, I'm good. But this is the thing. Sometimes the guy can't perform at the time that the person wants him to. And then the woman starts getting annoyed. She goes outside of the marriage or the relationship, and they were actually on the road to a committed relationship. What do you say to those people?
Then there wasn't love there, because love overcomes everything. Bottom line. I mean, so if you truly love that person, things change in their life. You look at some other podcasts that we have that talks about nutrition, talks about blood pressure, diabetes, those things. Find out about that person, find out what's going on in their life. Just don't assume that they're not attracted to you or something's going on. So if that person matters to you, then guess what? You know what, honey, babe, whatever you call them, whatever you say, let's go make a doctor's appointment. Let's go find out what's going on. Let's start from ground zero and find out what's happening. Let's go through the step in the process of what's happening. You may find out if he changes his diet or she changed her diet, things are going to be perfectly fine. You find out they had high blood pressure, they never go because, black men, they don't go to the doctor. They don't find out what's happening. So again, go to the doctor and find out that, wow, okay. All we needed to do was put him on some blood pressure medicine. We didn't give him the blue pill or anything like that. We just needed, change his diet, change her diet or whatever, because, things do happen, you do get older. So again, pay attention to your diet. Let's go there first and foremost. Back again, what I was saying initially is that if you truly love someone, you're not stepping out because that start falling down, as far as that physical relationship is concerned.
Right.
You start having conversations and say, you know what, honey, this is what's happening, what's going on. Also, and men, and I'll look you straight in the face, be honest with yourself. If there's something going on that accept it and go find out what's happening. Plain and simple. Just truly be honest with yourself and say, you know what, I need to, go to the doctor. I need to find out what's going on. And let's take care of some business.
And how about stop saying, "Oh, it must be you. This has never happened before."
Yeah, absolutely correct. Those type of comments, whatever. Don't start pointing fingers. Don't do that. Don't point fingers that way. Don't start pointing fingers. Just simply find out what's going on with yourself. Humble yourself. Find out what's happening. Go to the doctor and let them make the decision and find out what's going on.
Folks, you got to keep it real.
Yeah, you sure do.
So, Gerald, the last question for tonight. What can a woman do to make him want to marry her?
Be yourself. Be yourself and be compassionate. That's all. Be wifey. Be wifey. Be like I said. Be that wife material. Be that.
Okay, Gerald, we're gonna do real talk. I'm not wifey material. I don't even act like a wife. You know what I act like?
What's that?
I just act like Christine. I don't even know what a wifey thing is. When you keep saying act like a wife, like I'm not the average person. Now, I do laundry. I clean house. My house is always immaculate.
I don't need a maid. See, I hear you saying all those things. I don't want a maid.
But that's my whole point. So tell me what wifey is, because I don't know if I have a wifey character.
Let's go back from the beginning of this whole conversation to the beginning. She's compassionate, she's attentive, she's all those things, she's about me. She's about my life. She's about things that are going on with me. She knows I like sports. Then guess what? She happens to pull the sports game up or, things like that. So she's about me. That's what wifey is. Or she knows that, I've been sick or whatever. She makes doctor's appointments for me. She'll call and do those kind of things. If I have other things happening, she's doing those things. That's her being about me. That's what wifey is to me. That's carrying yourself as a wife, is that, again, she's my helpmate. You hear all those terminology. That's what a helpmate is. I'm busy, trying to create this, this lifestyle for us and everything else. But I don't have time to do these things on the left side.
Yes.
So guess what? My rib is handling these things for me. She's taking care of those things. And I didn't even have to ask. That's what's also wonderful about it. You don't even have to ask it. All of a sudden it's done. I got a text message, from Don one day, says you have a doctor appointment on the 13th. Are you kidding me right now? Really? She already knew my schedule. She knew I was off. She paid attention. And all right, you have a doctor's appointment. That's smart. That's wifey stuff. Those are the things that
ladies,
so you pay, you do those things about making that bread and getting paid and all that other stuff. That's all fine and well, but that's definitely not everything, because you can make $1 gazillion And at the same time, did you realize that, I'm missing a tooth? Did you realize I've been talking about having a
Mhm.
toothache for the last week or something? Did you pay attention to that? That all of a sudden I'm getting a numbness in my left arm. You're like, did you say that, you know what, honey, did you get that arm checked out or whatever? Or did you already make an appointment for me? But if you never say anything, really? So again, that's what a wife is. That's what a wifey would do.
I love it because, Gerald, I'm going to tell you, based on that, I guess I am a wifey. Those are all the things I do. But I also go out and make that money because I like working. I'm a creative person. Don't hold it against me. But I do all of those things. So, ladies, listen, I will tell you, I definitely value what he says. He's a true person. From the first day I met Gerald, he was a husband, a provider. He's never shifted or never changed. And if he did, I wouldn't have him on the podcast talking to you. So he's always been the person that I see right now. So when he says those are the things, I truly say that I have to believe him because he's always been a solid person. So folks, before we go, let me go and cover some of these questions in here because Matt's been tossing them back. Matt said, what if you have a significant assets in second marriage? What about that? He said, what if you have, that's when we were talking about finances in the 50-50. Matt
Uh-huh.
said, what if you have significant assets and it's a second marriage? What do you do?
You turn those assets over to your second marriage. I mean, bottom line, don't get married. I mean, that's why I'm sitting here stunned. Because again, I mean, if you feel comfortable enough to marry that person, feel good enough about that parent, then why would you not share your finances with them? I know I just don't understand it. Just me. And I just don't understand that of why is finance such a big deal. If you can't trust that person, then why are you marrying them? Why are you marrying them? You have to
I
ask
love that.
why in the world are you marrying them if you can't trust them with your finances? And they should show you throughout the time you're together.
Mm-hmm.
You're always paying for everything, or if you're always, having to buy this bag for her, or this, or they want you to buy a car or get the, then you'll notice those things.
You'll pick up on that.
You'll
Well, I'm
pick
going
up
to tell you guys, Donna won't show up, but Donna always comments. What did she say? What did she say, Gerald?
Oh, when it's right, God will give you
Everything you need to be
everything
his
you need to
wife.
be his wife. That's right.
Donna, would you please tell your husband to start wearing his glasses, that his cute days is over? Okay? I'm on the show telling you,
let me tell you a funny thing. We were in the restaurant the other day, and she went the restaurant. I mean, the menu came to me. She pulled the glasses right out of her bag and handed it to me.
Donna, thank you.
That's a wifey. That's wifey stuff.
That's
right
wifey, because he over here like.
Right. Yeah. I'm over there struggling trying to read the menu, and she goes in her bag and just hands me my glasses. Like, are you kidding me right now?
Donna, I don't know why this man on the show trying to act like he gonna read. Well, Gerald, it has been a pleasure. I'm so glad that we're back. It's so great to see you. I'm just so happy for you and Donna. I'm just absolutely confident that you guys are going to be an excellent example for people to kind of mimic and look at when you get married and you're over 50. This is an excellent example, folks, of how you can bring two lives together and late in life, and you can find your one true love. I'm really ecstatic for you guys and happy, and thank you so much for being a part of the 5S to Love podcast network. I'm excited.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I enjoy this. I enjoy sharing my life and sharing my experiences with everyone. It's important to do that. That's just my own personal ministry. I like sharing, the things that I've, my goods and my bads. Yep.
You do. And the thing is, and I appreciate because you have shared the goods and the bads on this podcast since we started. And it's so funny because all the things that you shared have really helped people. And I admire you because just to let you guys know, Gerald is not one to tell his personal business. So for him to share anything about his personal work like this much is huge. But I appreciate you trusting me. That my job is always to protect, my cast and make sure that we share just enough to help people, but not so much that your life becomes transparent, right? Because I want you guys to stay in that bubble because that bubble is going to make this podcast amazing. Absolutely. So Donna, thank you.
Absolutely correct. So,
all right, well, guys, our time is up. So we're going to see you guys next Friday. And you know what? The conversation is going to be hot because it's about your body. You better be ready.
Yep. Appreciate everybody. Thank you.
All right, Gerald. So I'll see you guys. And Donna, have a great weekend. All right. See you, Gerald.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
you.